Welcome back to another episode of Nothing Tool It. I'm your host, the Tool It Guy, and we're doing a continuation of a previous video cutting a laminate countertop. But today we're going to be doing it on the 45-degree angle. Stay tuned.
Nothing Tool It.
First thing you're going to do is flip this countertop over, revealing the bottom side of your counter. You're going to take a speed square or whatever device you might have that measures angles. In this case, I'm going to place my speed square on the edge. I'm going to use a black marker. You can use whatever writing utensil you want. I have simply just placed it where I need it to be. Scribe a line. Take your measurements however it is you need. Once you got that small line started, you can literally take an extra long straight edge. Make sure you place it all the way across on that 45-degree angle from where you've already taken your measurement. Once you scribe the rest of your line, you'll have your full angle revealed. Just like I have here, you can see it goes all the way across the countertop to the other corner. Next, you need to mark where your painter's tape is going to go on that full angle. In order to do that, you take your measuring tape. You measure in how far it is that you see your black line on the top edge in the corner. Then you'll measure the opposite side and make sure you find the other corner. You'll flip your countertop over. When you do this, this puts your markings on the opposite side. So when you're measuring in, make sure that you know exactly where it is that you're going to. From there, you can take your tape. I like to use the extra thick painter's tape. Covers more area for less mistake. Wrap it all the way around your table. Measuring all the way to the opposite side where your black marker is going to be. This should be enough to take in that entire cut. This video is a slight variation for the guide than my previous video with the straight cut laminate countertop. What I'm going to be doing is using the circular saw with the housing on the opposite side of the guide. In my previous video, I had this guide passing over the top of the wooden guides and the clamps. If you haven't seen it, you can go and check that out, see if that's a preferential guide system that you'd like to do. In this video, we're going to be doing with the housing on the opposite side. One of the main differences between my laminate cutting video and my 45-degree cutting video is that this board is on a large 45-degree angle. You'll need to cut a 45-degree here to brace up against the lip of your countertop. Once you've located where that needs to be in reference to the shoe on your circular saw, you can screw it in, clamp it down, and allow for that space to be there to make your cut. When you get to the other side, you'll notice I have another smaller piece that's cut perpendicular to my guide. It still acts as a guide. When I butt up against it with my circular saw, you can gently lift it up until you're able to cross over the piece, exiting the workpiece on your cut and still keeping that 45-degree angle because your 2x6 is raised higher than this little piece of wood here, allowing you to carry on out straight with no problem. Here you'll see a close-up of the little piece of wood that I have cut perpendicular to my guide. I've used a little screw which allows it to stay attached to the piece that I'm keeping. On the opposite side, where the line cuts through, this will just fall away with the scrap piece that I no longer need. Also, you'll see I've cut my 2x6 so that the edge is flat against my countertop. The reason for this is, if I don't cut that edge flat, I end up with an edge like this, an imperfect edge that the shoe of the circular saw can't travel against. If I end up following along this, the shoe can get stuck in there, pinch and grab, not giving you the desired cut that you want on your workpiece. Much like my other laminate video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make the cut before actually performing the cut. First thing you're going to do is take your circular saw. You're going to line it up with your line. You're going to butt the shoe of your circular saw against your 2x6 guide. Once you start your cut, you'll enter into the workpiece. Once you get so far in, you're going to realize that there is still an inch or two's worth of cutting left on this back wall. I'm going to go into how to finish that cut later on in the video, but continuing forward, you'll get all the way to the opposite side of your cut. Once you get to this perpendicular guided piece that I made earlier, you'll gently lift it up, cresting over top. You'll continue to press through, exiting your workpiece, finishing your cut, leaving you with the rest of your workpiece with that one little piece that we're going to finish off later. Prior to your cut, you're going to want to make sure that things are clamped down and supported underneath and above, wherever it is you think you need to make this structure fully supported before making your cut. The last thing you want is for this to fall apart on you while you're trying to make a cut. Our final cut here is going to be completed using the handsaw. It's a fine-tooth handsaw, and in order to achieve this, we're going to use a 2x4 that we've cut on a 45-degree angle. The first piece of your 2x4 is going to line up on the piece that you're saving. So if this is the piece that you're saving, you want it to be as flush against this side as possible, so that your saw blade is cutting exactly through where your circular saw left off. Once you've clamped that into place, you'll take the piece, the other 45-degree angle on it, you'll clamp that into place as well, or screw it so that your saw blade has no wiggle room to make a mistake on the rest of your cut. All right, so as you can see, on one side we have it clamped. The other side is actually screwed into the discard piece. We're going to take our saw, we're going to fit it into that gap. And slowly but surely, we are going to take cuts, steady and smoothly. And just continue to cut through the rest of our workpiece. So we finished our last laminate cut by hand. We've unclamped all our clamps. We've unscrewed the boards. We're left with what is now a 45-degree cut. We're going to now peel the tape off. Revealing our cut. I'm going to do a close-up of this in a minute so you can see what the result is on the edge. And now the moment you've been waiting for, a close-up of our 45-degree cut. You'll notice that there's no nicks, scratches, cracks, or damage along this entire cut. You are now ready to match this to the opposing angle in order to install your countertop. This concludes today's episode on how to cut a 45-degree angle in your laminate countertop. I hope you enjoyed watching, and remember, there's nothing to it.